This is actually like, ugh, I can feel my heart breaking. Who did this to him? For real though. Hello friends, it's LC. Welcome to my channel if you are new, and if you are returning, welcome back. This feels monumental here, reacting to Jimin's first solo album, Face, because Jimin was my gateway to K-pop when Boy With Love first came out, where I had heard the song on a Spotify playlist, so I looked up the music video, and then when I saw the music video, I thought, who is this pink-haired angel? And that's how it all got started. Where Jimin was my first bias, Yoongi is my bias now, and now 4 years later, here we are. So I'm going to be reacting to this album in two parts today because Hybe tends to block reactions when the entire album is uploaded into one video. So part one is going to cover the first 3 songs of the album, so Face Off, Interlude, Dive, and Like Crazy. And then part 2 is going to cover the last 3 songs, which are Alone, Set Me Free Part 2, and then the English version of Like Crazy. So let's get into it, shall we? But before we do, please don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoy it and subscribe to my channel.
A few moments later.
For today's beverage of the day, I have a glass of rosé from Girls Night Out. Except this is more like a Girls Night In, Girls Night Jimin. That was a very, very bad pun. But okay, we're going to get started here with Face Off, which is the first song on the album. And so far from what I saw, no content available. So we're going to be reacting to a color-coded lyric video here when the album's called Face and we're starting with Face Off. So like with Face Off, is he having a fight with somebody? I hope not. So let's begin with Face Off. Is that supposed to be like a circus? Or like a merry-go-round, or like a carousel? It almost sounds like the music you'd play if like joke's on you, you know, like I was a clown. Instrumental took a turn though. Ooh. Living like a moron? What? No! Oh no! Your mask? Oh my goodness, so much information to process. Ooh, he's mad. Ooh, you found yourself. Good for you. Oh my goodness. Huh, scream it all out like you're crazy. Huh. Oh, and I love the groove of this. It's like kind of dark. There's almost like a feeling of The Weeknd to it a little bit. I want to know who did this to him. So I can, you know, give him a knuckle sandwich. Metaphorically, of course. No! Oh my gosh, now I'm mad. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm getting pressed. Wow. So someone just like fully took advantage of him. He's come to this realization. Just wants to like let it all loose. Oh. Oh, my ears. My innocent ears. But I love that with Jimin, just like really starting with a punch, you know? So just like purging this person from his life. Wants to forget everything and anything related to them. Yeah, this instrumental almost feels like sinister. Wow, what a way to start off this album. And it kind of breaks my heart a little bit that the very first line of this is, all right, I guess the blame is on me, as if he's like blaming himself for what this really like toxic person has done. And that's what a toxic person can do, is just like gaslight you into thinking that you are the problem. And that's literally the very first thing that he says about this before we go into anything. And then saying, take a look at how I look right now. I'm like a living moron. Again, feeling like he's the stupid one and not this other person. And that like kind of clownish music playing at the beginning that almost it feels he's saying like, I played myself. And the fact that he's saying trusting people is the start to a terrible nightmare, like, no. Maybe by the end of the album he comes around, but it seems like this is what's tipping off this whole journey we're about to go through, is like this one experience. And hopefully like him saying tonight I don't want to be sober, hopefully that's not necessarily like a pattern of using, you know, alcohol and getting drunk to want to erase this person's memory and just like forget. So whoever did this to Jimin, karma is a bitch. That is all I'm gonna say. I hope that things turn around for him in this album. So we're gonna move on now to Interlude Dive, and I wasn't really able to find a lyric video for this, so I'm guessing that this is just an instrumental song to start us off here. And it's interesting to have an interlude as the second song on an album of 6 songs. So I'm wondering if this is kind of like a transition of some sort from the topic of the first song to what's going to be covered in the rest of the album. I don't really know, especially with an instrumental track. So yeah, let's listen to Interlude Dive. Revving up to something. This is gonna be like a skit. Huh. Is he running? Interesting. Kind of seems like a collection of moments, you know, of his life. Ooh, I like those strings. The cello. Yeah, it kind of feels like day in the life a bit. I wish I could see what's happening. And why Interlude Dive for this song? I hope that was him pouring a glass of water. Yes, I think so. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so I found an article from Rolling Stone where they did an interview with him, and there's this question. With Interlude Dive, there are sounds of water and then sounds of you talking on stage. What kind of story is that track telling? He said originally the first track was Face Off, which is really intense and rebellious. So between Face Off and Like Crazy, he said, I thought it would be nice to have something in between that would bridge those two tracks, so that's how we came up with Dive. If you listen to the track, you might hear sounds of someone panting for air or me running somewhere. I wanted to give this feeling that I was lost and wandering, so I tried a lot of different things for that song. I actually recorded myself running around using my phone, and it was a fun process. So maybe it felt like too jarring of a jump to go from Face Off to Like Crazy, which now makes me very excited for the Like Crazy music video, where it kind of feels like part of a grief cycle, where that first song almost felt like multiple stages of the grief cycle, because it was like there was the denial, like, you know, it was my fault, and then there was the, you know, anger stage, and then there was the bargaining almost of like, let's just drink, let's just forget all this happened. And then this song is kind of like, it almost seems like the depression stage. So are we gonna get like an acceptance moment in Like Crazy? And I saw in that Rolling Stone article that this song was actually inspired by the movie Like Crazy, where he thought it was going to be romantic and sweet, but it turned out that it's actually a very realistic and stark depiction of a breakup. Ooh, okay, so this is like this is like a full breakup album, isn't it? So in the song, he's looking to portray somewhat complex, somewhat lonely, somewhat happy emotions. He tried to express all these ambiguous and subtle emotions in a slightly sexy way. What is slightly sexy? So let's see what slightly sexy is going to look like in the Like Crazy music video.
I think we could last forever.
I'm
afraid that everything will disappear.
Ooh, I like the mullety type of hair. Ooh. His voice is so gorgeous. Oh, is that mud? Oh, interesting. That like beat shift. Keep me drenched all night. Ooh, kind of like 80s-ish. Huh. So he's partying, but it's kind of like, yeah, lost in lights, like he's a bit. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I should finish my thought before I keep going. But kind of like with Face Off, it feels like the partying isn't just to have fun, but kind of to push down these feelings, especially with, you know, watch me go, keep me drenched all night away, so that morning gets drunk and never comes. So, you know, on the surface, it looks like he's having fun, but actually it's all just like a plot to mask this pain that he's feeling. Like, but yeah, okay, let's keep going. And this mud. And he seems kind of like lonely in the middle of the dance floor, you know? Yeah, very 80s-ish. And like a bit disorienting too. All these shots are gorgeous. If you're in the girls' bathroom, he'd be making like 5 friends right now. Oh. Huh. It's kind of like it's all imploding in on him, you know? Oh my gosh. This is actually like, ugh, I can feel my heart breaking.
Alone again. What's the point?
And what is this mud? Is it kind of like a symbol of not being able to clean off this, like, this, not necessarily like this dirtiness that he feels, but it's almost like, you know, the cover up that he's trying to do, and this mud represents like everything coming back up to the surface. But yeah, I have so many so many thoughts about this song. Like, first of all, the instrumental paired against the lyrics, like, you would almost think there are two different songs. Like, if I wasn't looking at the lyrics and seeing the captions, I would probably have no idea what this song was actually about, because, you know, his vocals and the instrumental sound so ethereal. Because listening to this part, like,
I'm afraid that everything will disappear.
like the strings with his really breathy vocals, and those like those butter smooth vocals, you feel like you're getting sucked in to his world. And I feel like I haven't given him enough flowers for his vocal performance in this song, because, like, listen to this. He is, like, I think one of my favorite voices in K-pop, like, period. He just, like, carries so much emotion in the way that he sings, and you just, like, hang on his every word, you know? And again, some of these lyrics are kind of heartbreaking, because he's saying, I want to stay in the stream, don't save me. Like, don't you try to save me. It feels like he's almost begging. So I really hope by the end of this that he finds, like, a healthy outlet for his emotions that isn't just, like, binge drinking or partying, you know? I want that for him, like, so bad. But okay, I kind of lied. I kind of lied in the introduction about only the first 3 songs being in this part, because I'm actually going to cover Alone next, and that'll be made clear why at the end of the next part. But yes, we're going to go to Alone here to finish out part 1. And, you know, the wishes that I was hoping would be fulfilled for Jimin, I feel like with a title like Alone, it's not going to happen yet. So perhaps we get our first ballad of the album here. I can't honestly imagine this getting much darker, and I don't know if I want to imagine it getting much darker for my poor Jimin. Might have to grab my Chimmy for emotional support. We're going to get through this together. So let's listen to Alone. Wow. Starting so deep in his register. Oh my gosh. So much drinking in this album. No. Oh my gosh, just like stun locked. Oh. High-low harmony. Wow. You know, I've been covering I Envy You by Taeyeon, and this album almost feels like the male counterpart, and I love that album. But okay, I'm so sorry. I was fully talking over that whole thing and I missed it. But yeah, like I have been absolutely loving INVU by Taeyeon, and that is like a true breakup album, and this feels like its counterpart. They feel like twins almost. So if you haven't listened to that album, it is fantastic. But yes, I am so sorry. Let me go back and listen to the chorus from the beginning. A repeated fall. Huh. Throwback to live from Jimin. Huh. Some of these notes he's hitting. Will this darkness end? I hope so. Feels like you're losing yourself. That repeated fall part is so heartbreaking. Just like over and over again, like an endless cycle. Feels like there are like little Weekend influences in here too. Oh my gosh, what? Is that the end? Ah! So glad that I have my emotional support Chimmy, because like I just like cannot handle this. Who did this to him? For real though, that person had better hope that Army does not find out. Just like with Like Crazy, you can hear the emotion in his voice so clearly, and this one feels a lot more in the like depressed category than, you know, one of the other stages of grief, where this is almost like the aftermath of Like Crazy. And he's saying, you know, when I got drunk, fell asleep, and didn't remember a thing, I thought to myself about just what I'm doing. Why am I the only one like this? Everyone is too, right? Where he can't like reconcile the thought of him going through this experience alone. And the aspect of me that pretends to be okay every single time feels pathetic. Like, I can guarantee you, Jimin, like, you are not the only person who is feeling this way. Especially during the pandemic, like, that was such a lonely time for so many of us. So I'm sure that so many people can relate to his experience then or now. And, you know, just how long do I have to hold on through this? Is it possible for me to go back? And then him trying to tell himself, like, make it right. It's gonna be all right. And I can imagine in that moment, he feels like he's lying to himself saying that. This, like, reasonable excuse he's bringing up. Yeah, the song really does just feel like the throes of depression. And he does such a good job at capturing the emotion in the song by like digging deep into like the pit of his vocal register, and then like through these lyrics really just like digging up these parts of himself and exposing them to everyone. I'm so impressed by this album so far, and while it's certainly not the happiest of subject matter, I'm so enjoying this, and I can't wait to hear what the rest of the album has in store. So friends, you can check out part 2 of my Face album reaction right now by clicking on this link, where I will be covering the next 3 songs on the album. So Set Me Free Part 2, the English version of Like Crazy, and then possibly something else. So I will see you shortly for part 2.